So if you have been diagnosed with patellofemoral syndrome, I got 5 simple things you can do just to take the pain down entirely on your own. So listen up. And really quick before we get going, I highly recommend you guys subscribe to Riley Rehab on YouTube because I'm going to be making videos every single week on how to keep you in shape and make you the expert of your own body. So with that being said, patellofemoral syndrome, it's a really vague term. It basically means you have pain around the front of the knee, sometimes in the inside of it. And the whole idea with it is your knee basically goes inward often when you're doing things like running, jumping, things like that. And what it does is it causes the inside of the knee. So if this is the kneecap, the inside of the knee in this area will kind of push up against the bone on the leg. So if you imagine as I go like this, I'll just do it on one leg, as I go like this, if it goes in, you're grinding up against here. So you want 2 things. You want to, number 1, massage the area where the grinding is. But secondly, you also want to fix the core problem, and that's the fact that your knee is going inwards. So to resolve that, the first thing you can do is you can massage the inside of your knee. I showed this in a past video, but basically what you're doing is you're pushing the kneecap. This is the kneecap here. You're pushing it on the inside direction, and then you reach underneath. See where that black mark is? That's where I'm going. I use my fingers to hook under, and then I just massage up and down. As soon as I find kind of a tight, tender point, I'll stay on there. And basically what I'm doing, just so you guys have a sense of what I'm doing, is if I'm hooking on the knee, and this hook's on here, I'm basically moving up and down the knee like this while I'm keeping the pressure on. So I'm gonna go like this, massage up and down the knee. And for this to work, usually it should start off feeling painful in the area you're at, and then it should slowly numb out. But I do emphasize it's really important to push that kneecap there because you want to get deep underneath the knee. And the second key exercise is you want to grab a TheraBand and you want to strengthen basically the glutes, or the muscles that make your leg go apart. If you imagine when your knee goes in, you want to strengthen everything that basically moves your knee out so the kneecap goes in the right direction. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab a TheraBand, tie it up here, and if you're one of those more athletic people, I'd actually recommend tying this thing really tight, especially if it's a lighter one, because you want to challenge yourself on this. You don't want to make it too easy for you. Once you get this, put it around your knees, lay down on your side, and you're going to do what's called a clamshell. So basically you keep your heels together, keep the top of your hip, or the right side of your hip in this case, over the left side. It would be the different way for different sides. And then you're going to bring your knee up only about 6 inches off the ground, only about 6 inches away from where it started. And then slowly bring it down there. And then bring it up again, and slowly bring it down. Count about 2 seconds on the way down. This exercise is boring as hell, I'm not gonna lie. But if you do enough of these, and especially for the athletic people, I'd recommend doing 50, 100 even if you have to. Just enough to get a good burn here. You do enough of these and it'll strengthen things and take away the knee pain really, really quick. One other thing too is try to not roll so much that you're facing the ceiling, because then it kind of takes away from the lift. It's a very small isolated motion. You're only going up to there. Roll around, do the other side, and either do 3 sets of 10 to 15, or if you're a more athletic person, do 3 sets of as many as you possibly can before your butt is burning. By strengthening the muscle on the outside of the hip, you're stopping the knee from going in when you squat because it's pulling it out in this direction. But when I say squat, I also mean running, jumping, anything where your knee is bending. The second thing you want to work on is you actually want to work down from the toes, because if your toes can, basically if your foot goes flat and drops on the ground, that automatically causes your knee to go in. So just try this yourself at home. Even push the foot in the ground, kind of flatten the inside there. You're automatically going to have your knee go in. So this is especially important for those flat-footed people out there. You want to make sure that you strengthen everything that would build that flat foot up, and maybe even force you to weight bear a little bit more on the outside of the foot. So what you're going to do is you're going to work on that muscle by taking that exact same band, wrapping it around your ankles, and you want to keep this one low, but making sure it's at least above the bony bits on the side of the ankle there. Keep your legs apart here, and then you're going to do calf raises like this. Really want to emphasize keeping those feet in a neutral position, keeping those feet steady so they don't roll in like that, and also making sure those knees don't roll in too, because that's the whole idea. For this one, if your balance isn't as good, you might want to hang on to something for this as well. And once again with this one, just do it till the cows come home if you're in shape. If you're not as physically fit, then I'd say just go with 3 sets of 10 on this. The next exercise is actually a combination of the last two, where you kind of want to combine that kind of bringing the foot away from being flat-footed, and as well as activating the side of the hip muscles to keep your knee out. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to take that exact same band, and this, you might even be able to grab a tighter band at this point, but you're going to wrap this around your knees right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go on the tips of your toes, and you're going to sidestep out like this. You really want to keep it nice and controlled. I'd say for about a week, just do this in a very slow, methodical kind of way. A week after, if you feel like your knee pain is going away, you can kind of progress to being a little quick. But I'd recommend doing this in front of a mirror and keeping a really close eye on your knee, because you don't want that thing to go in. If it goes in, just think about how it's going to be when you're on the field or when you're doing something more intense. You want to make sure that everything is under control, that the muscles that are keeping that knee from going in are activating. And that's the next level there. I don't have a ton of room, but you can also kind of go out to the side. You can go back. You can even combine it with some footwork drills, but let's just keep it simple right now and go with walking out like this on your tippy toes. Then the last exercise I'm going to do, and this is just a key one, is the single leg squat. And by the way too, if you feel like this is too painful, I just squat on both legs for now. But I find often if you're one of those people who just has knee pain but you're still able to do this, it's much better to do it on one leg, because that's when you start to see things break down. I'll see this so many times where somebody will try to single leg squat and their knee will go in. So realize you've been working to get rid of this. So what you want to do, keeping a close eye on your knee, is you want to squat down as low as you can go before that knee goes in, and maybe have something to hold on to as well to make sure you're okay here. You might, if you are a more flat-footed person, you might want to try to bear weight a little bit more on the, or put your weight a little bit more on the pinky toes. But you're basically just going up and down in a controlled motion. If it's pain for you when you're going to about 90 degrees and you are in really good shape, you can challenge yourself and try to go really low. I don't even know if I'm going to do this okay, but I guess I was all right. Could have fixed a few things there, but in general, that's how you would progress it. You just keep challenging, going deeper and deeper on the squat, making sure, number one, you have good balance, and number two, that knee does not go in. So that concludes all the exercises you can do for patellofemoral syndrome. And the last thing I will say is it might take some time with this. Don't expect this to be an overnight solution, but I really feel that if you stick with this program every single day and just continue to work out, continue to do your regular stretches, you should be good, should be back on the field or back to whatever it is you're doing before.